What voters have decided, according to the latest numbers from the Lubbock County Election Office, as they have all but 2 polling locations counted in Lubbock so far. We'll bring you the final results as they come in, hopefully during the newscast. In the race for Lubbock Mayor, City Councilman Mark McBrayer is leading with 38% of the vote. That's 9 points ahead of the runner-up. KCBD News Channel 11's Taylor Locke joins us from Central Lubbock with a look at the Mark McBrayer race. Taylor?
That's exactly right, Karen. I'm out here with candidate Mark McBrayer right now at his watch party, and he joins me right now. So just tell me, how does today's turnout and results tell you about how important this election is this year?
Well, I always felt this was an important election for our voters because I run on a change and a new direction, and I was counting on voters understanding and hearing my message and coming out and voting for that change, and I think that's been proven by the results today that I'm in the lead with 38% of the vote, and we're going into a runoff, and I feel very confident about where we are.
Yeah, absolutely. So what is your plan over the next few weeks, to go moving forward to this runoff?
Well, the key is, of course, for me to stay on my message and make sure that voters know why they should be voting for me, to keep my supporters motivated. I think people who've been around in Lubbock politics long enough to know that being in first place in a runoff doesn't always guarantee anything, so you have to make sure that your voters know that they have to turn up again at the runoff election if you want to win this race. And so my job is to stay focused on my message of change in a new direction and keeping my voters motivated to show up at the polls again.
Yeah, so what is your message now to those voters that came out and supported you today?
Take a couple of days off, and then I've had a great team of people supporting me from all across the spectrum here in Lubbock. I need to keep them with me. They need to stay with me. They need to stay focused, and I'll need them to work as hard again in this re-election or in this runoff as they have worked in this election.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, Karen, again, I'm out here with candidate Mark McBrayer. Taylor Locke for KCBD News Channel 11. We'll send it back to you.
Thank you, Taylor. Now, the runner-up in the mayor's race is City Councilman Steve Massengale, who currently represents District 4. KCBD News Channel 11's James Epler joins us from Southwest Lubbock with his plan going forward. James.
Well, good evening, Karen. We are here at the West Texas Home Builders Association with the Massengale campaign. Councilman Steve Massengale joining me now. Seeing these numbers, looks like you're in a runoff with your fellow councilman, Mark McBrayer. How are you feeling about the numbers you've seen tonight?
Well, we're encouraged. We expected to be in a runoff. It's unprecedented that we've had 6 people in a race for mayor. So I think we're happy to still be in the fight.
What are you going to have to do to win over voters who went with another candidate besides you or Mr. McBrayer?
Well, we're going to have to tell our story. We may have to improve on our story.
What story is that?
Well, I think our story is about our experience. I think our story is about my love for this community and what I'm willing to do for it.
Is there a reason that you think that voters may have gone with someone who's less experienced than you on council? Do you think your experience on council, maybe decisions you've made, may have hurt you in this race?
Yeah, I mean, as long as I've served, there are plenty of decisions I've made that you could be critical of. And we saw some of that during the campaign, but I think what we'll do is we'll regroup next week and reform our story to some extent, and we'll run hard for the runoff.
All right, Councilman, thank you so much for your time this evening. Councilman Steve Massengale going to a runoff with his colleague, Mark McBrayer, on the City Council. Early voting starts very soon for that, and we'll be following that story right here on KCBD News Channel 11. Karen, back to you in the studio.
Thank you, James. Voters are also deciding on Proposition A, also known as Freedom Act Lubbock. This measure would decriminalize the possession of low-level marijuana inside the city limits. Well, at this point, though, it looks like the issue is not going to pass, with early votes showing only 34% in favor. Now, a strongly organized opposition won the vote. KCBD News Channel 11's Shaylee Kidwell joins us with how Project Destiny fought off the